On episode 124 of Veteran on the Move, I'm talking with Naveen Khan, the founder and CEO of PT Pal. PT Pal replaces physical therapy paper instructions with an app, including pictures, video, counting, and more.
Welcome to Veteran on the Move. If you're a veteran in transition, an entrepreneur wannabe, or someone still stuck in that JOB trying to escape, this podcast is dedicated to your success. And now, your host, Joe Crane.
I've been a USAA member for over 26 years. USAA has been alongside my family for my entire military career, including my transition out of the military. In addition to providing great insurance and banking products, USAA also provides a wide range of tools and advice to make your transition from the military a financial success. To learn more, go to veteranonthemove.com/leaving the military. Prior to inventing PT Pal, Naveen Khan was a director at a world-class orthopedic hospital. PT Pal is her second technology company. Her first is a leader in innovations as well. Prior to launching her first technology, she was a trial consultant and worked with Fortune 500 companies, consulting on over 200 multi-million-dollar cases. Before trial consulting, she worked as a global business analyst at a global investment bank in London, designing and implementing Google-style applications and CRM technology, while undertaking a postgraduate degree in law from the University of Law in London. Naveen Khan, welcome to Veteran on the Move. Thanks for being here and sharing your entrepreneurial success story. And before we get to talking about business and entrepreneurship, take us back a little ways and give us an idea and tell us about your background.
Hi, Joe. My background is mostly business, and I have a law degree, but I've mostly worked in business. So as I graduated from my sociology degree, which was my undergraduate degree, I got a job at the British American Business Council here in Los Angeles, and from there I went and worked at an investment bank. But everywhere I've been, I've always built technology to make things easier and more efficient. And so that's how I came to what I'm doing now. After I got my law degree, I went and worked as a trial consultant. And after that, I worked at a technology company. And so each of my positions have really involved creating some sort of technology where it's whether it's like a Google style technology for portfolio management and at an investment bank. And I ended up being a director at an orthopedic hospital. And that's where I sort of started this journey where I wanted to create my own company.
Now, Naveen, you've got quite a bit background as far as your education and everything. And I didn't hear you say you had any technology or computer type degrees, but it sounds like you might be a real computer geek at heart.
Yes. At that time, there wasn't a lot going on in like there is now in terms of front facing technology. It was more database and back end technology. And that was back in 2000. And I'm out of university after my sociology degree. I didn't have any technical expertise at all, but I learned for myself how to create databases and relational databases and Oracle and things like that. And that's what got me into technology. And then the reason I did that was because I wanted to make it more efficient and more valuable to create. I wanted to create a database where you could have members in the organization I was working in be more meaningful. So you could say these members want to experience X, like a golf event, or they have an interest in the Christmas party or whatever it was, but just make the database of members more meaningful so you could serve them better. And that was my inclination for trying to create some technology. And I just ended up learning a lot about technology and took that into my next position, which was basically taking all the files, electronic, or actually they were paper files, in the third largest investment bank in the world and creating digital files where they were able to be searchable. So like Google style searches and tree searches. And so I created that sort of database along with the team so everyone globally could better access portfolios.
Wow. Okay, so you've definitely got this natural talent and inclination for computer type technology, and it started with databases and relational databases, and I can definitely no pun intended, relate to that. I was into a lot of that stuff, in my younger years, in the old days of computer science and that kind of thing. But you had said that at one point you ended up, I believe you said you were like a director of a physical therapy department or something at a hospital. Is that right?
Yeah, I was actually one of the directors of the hospital, an orthopedic hospital.
Okay. And so take us through what happened with your personal experience and what happened and ultimately how you got the idea for PT Pal.
Well, so about 5 years ago, I had a bone marrow biopsy, and the doctor was doing the operation, and he slipped with a drill and really hurt my back, and it resulted in needing a lot of physical therapy. And so every time I went to physical therapy or a physician and got physical therapy, I would be given paper or oral instructions. And it just, for me, it wasn't effective, and I wasn't very compliant. And I ended up, so during this process, I was working elsewhere, and then I ended up being the director of this hospital. And I thought, okay, this is an orthopedic hospital, so I can just go downstairs and do my physical therapy. So every day I would go down and do my physical therapy through my lunch hour. And by the time I got to my sixth exercise, I couldn't remember my first. And so it got very frustrating, and I really wanted to get better. And so I created something that would count for me, because it's boring and tedious to count, and something that would tell me what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So that would give me reminders. So I created an app that would tell me all of those things, and people started to download it, and physicians started to use it. But it was a big decision to make it, because it's creating something from nothing, and at that time there was nothing else out there for physical therapy, because I looked, and I didn't really want to create it myself, and since there wasn't anything, I just created it, and I really wanted to help patients have better healthcare. And so once I created it and physicians started to use it, it really snowballed from there. And we started having hospital departments use it and clinics use it with their patients. We created the web portal that clinicians could track what their patients were doing and send them exercises or whatever it is. Today, it's an array of instructions. It can be exercises. It could be other cognitive exercises or tasks to do. So it was really a bid to provide better healthcare for patients, and for patients to have access to their own data and records.
I can totally relate to the need for something like PT Pal, because I've been to physical therapy various times over the years, not any real serious injuries or anything like that, but throwing my back out and a couple other things. And I've always thought that was one of the biggest pains, was to carry around that stack of paper. And a lot of times you'd get photocopied, instructions that looked like they've been photocopied 1,000 times. It was almost to the point where you couldn't read the stuff. And then you lose the stuff, or you go travel and you forget to bring it with you. So I could definitely understand the need for that. But I want to back up a little bit. How did you so you felt the need for an app? So don't tell me you just went out and taught yourself how to program and become an app developer in a short amount of time, and then you just developed the app that you needed to. Is that really what you ended up doing?
A little bit, but not. I learned how to create wireframes, and so I designed the app, and then I brought on board a developer to create it. just, contracted it out at first. And that's how I did it. I really didn't.
What is a wireframe?
It's just the design, the outline, how the app was going to work, and the outline of it. So
would that be kind of like a storyboard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good way of.
So kind of graphical pictures of what you wanted to see and look at.
Yes.
Okay.
How it would function. So step 1 would be this, and this is how they would flow through the app, and this is how it would work.
If you don't mind me asking, I know you're this was 5 years ago, but initially, what did it cost, or maybe more importantly, today, if I were to storyboard a simple app idea that I had and I storyboarded it, what could I get somebody to put it all together for me and actually do the programming for me?
It depends on which country you do it in, but I think it really depends on the features in your app. I think it can range from anywhere from 20,000 to 100,000. And a simple app probably can be a lot less. But it really depends on, how much graphics, how many graphics you have in there and what type of graphics. So because an artist is going to have to create those graphics, and then what that functionality is going to be. So how complex is the code? But it can be as cheap as you want to make it. At the moment we're starting work with an organization, a nonprofit that works with military families, and we're creating a program for the kids who have to cope with their parents leaving. So just stress management tools and things that they can use to take care of themselves, communication with other people in their family and things like that. So and we're looking at how complex to make that. And this question came up, how complex can we make it given the budget? So it really depends on how much you want to do.
Now, I could definitely see a use for military members going through physical therapy, especially wounded warrior types and things going on at the VA. Have you looked at, do you know if any veterans are using your PT Pal app to help them get through their physical therapy?
Yeah, we have a huge population of veterans using the app, specifically Wounded Warriors, the Wounded Warrior Project. But we work with the University of Pittsburgh and the traumatic brain injury people over there to help the veterans coming back from war with traumatic brain injury. And basically they go through an evaluation in the center. It's a center of excellence. And we're part of that evaluation, or PT Pal is, and they are basically given all their information that they need to do different types of exercises and monitor them. They're given surveys on a regular basis, and they're tracked through their process as they come home and get better and recuperate and all of that. So it's a very intense process, and it's amazing. We're really fortunate to have that program, and we're really fortunate to be part of it. It's pretty incredible.
Okay. Well, hold that thought. I want to talk more about that. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. In my 26 years as a USAA member, we logged 9 PCS moves and 4 overseas deployments, with 2 of those being combat tours in Iraq. Not to mention all of the exercises and training debts over the years, all in the interest of combat readiness. Maintaining readiness is an absolute must. You've probably heard readiness thousands of times during your military training. When you're planning to leave the military, readiness may be the key to a successful transition and your financial security. As an organization created by military members for military members, USAA is committed to making your transition from the military a financial success. To learn more, visit USAA's separations tools and advice at veteranonthemove.com/leaving the military. So what exactly is this program with the University of Pittsburgh that you're working through and having veterans use the PT Pal app?
So the veterans come. We work with Team TBI, which is the traumatic brain injury team over at the University of Pittsburgh, and they come in, and the veterans come in, and they have various evaluations done, from sleep, vestibular, cognitive therapy to physical therapy. So it's a number of things that that's looked at and evaluated. And the clinicians, they have a specialist team of clinicians over there, which are just the best in the world. And they look at what the veterans need and their evaluation, and they go home with an iPad full of different and relevant apps that help various parts of their recuperating. And so part of that plan is PT Pal. And what they have in PT Pal is they'll have everything from an exercise. It might be an ocular exercise, and they're told how to do things, what to do. It will pop up and remind them to do it, say 3 times a day. And then if they don't do it, or if there's a problem, they can contact the clinician, or the clinician will contact them, because the clinician has a feedback loop, and the clinician's portal will highlight in red if there's a problem, or highlight in green if the patient's doing really well, or if there's just a note. So the clinicians will give the patients goals, and the patient can communicate back with the clinician in a kind of text message form. They can also be reminded what to do, when to do it, and then automatically they'll get surveys as they go through the course of treatment. So they'll get one at 0 months, and they'll get one that's similar at 6 months, and then all the way in between they'll get checked in, and it will be automated. So basically Team TBI can deal with as many veterans as possible, but it's automated, but it's also personal. So the clinicians are always checking in on them, but it lets them go back to their home and still be seen by that clinician. And then when they go home, they can be seen by other clinicians, and other clinicians can come on to PT Pal as well. So they have this whole caregiver team on PT Pal that are looking at the veteran in lots of different ways, and really just taking care of them and making sure, hey, did you take your medication? What effect is this exercise having? Do we need to do more of these exercises? How is the vestibular exercise making you feel? And it's constantly interacting, and it's not just numerical. It's not like, oh, I feel a 3 today, which is useful as well, but also commenting like, this is how I'm feeling about my PTSD. So PTSD is assessed, and they're given tools to cope with that, and if they have it, and various other things that are going on with them cognitively and physically. So they hope to kind of take care of them in a 360 manner, so they can, cope with kind of assimilating to life back here, and then also that they're healthy and can cope, especially with the traumatic brain injuries that they've experienced.
Wow, that's incredible. It's obviously very well received, and it's been tweaked and improved, and helping thousands of people today. So what an awesome idea that you came up with. I'm real curious. Can you go back, like in the beginning days when you were first creating the app, and tell us? You said you initially created the app and you're using it for yourself, and then other people started downloading it. So did this thing grow kind of organically just because it became popular, or was there a lot of deliberate growth and expansion that you initiated?
It was both. So I really wanted to test the market and see if it was something that not only I wanted, but other people thought was helpful. So I talked to a lot of people, not just patients, but experts in healthcare. And we looked at I looked at where the healthcare market was going. And, there was going to be a lot more people needing a lot more physical therapy. And how do you scale physical therapy and make people better? Right now, or before now, actually, you used to get paid per visit, and that's changing to being paid per outcome. So if hospitals have a good outcome, they get paid better. Our PT Pal is really designed around better healthcare. So it's designed around your clinician wanting you to get better, not to keep coming back because they'll make more money. So it was important to look at lots of factors around the market when I decided to sort of leave my job. And so as people downloaded it, it was organically, I thought, wow, that like I've really come up with something here. And then I created the clinician portal and really talked to physical therapists about what would work for them in their workflow. And then it was very deliberate in terms of, I was going to leave my job. I'm a single mom. I was going to leave my job and pursue this thing that had no guarantee of working. So it was a really big decision, and it was a very big risk. And I think it has to be deliberate. And I ended up talking to someone who was an executive director at an incubator, and I thought that's the place I need to go if I'm going to do this, because I needed all these, resources and support because it was just me, and I needed to know more. So I got into this incubator program, which was not easy. You have to pitch several times and all kinds of things. And that in itself was an indicator that, yes, I had something that was really, was important and was going to better healthcare. And, the downloads were making us money. So I went in on a really strong footing where I was, had a company at a tiny bit of revenue, and this is 3 years ago. And so that's what really made me sort of what I thought about before I left. And personally, is that a risk I can take? And I thought, being in a job is risky because you can, anything can happen in a job. You're not in control of your job ever. Someone else is always in control of your job. And I didn't want that, for forever. I wanted to be in control of my job and what I was doing. And I looked down the road 5-10 years and I thought, what is it that I wanted to be doing? And it really meant, not working from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. or whatever it was, and not being, ever being good enough or whatever it was, because, I think it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's, corporate America doesn't allow you for a lot of flexibility, especially when you're a single mom. So I really wanted to do more with my life, and I wanted to have these kind of adventures that took me further. And so I took the risk on many levels. On a personal level, I looked at what I wanted to do, and it was better to kind of jump than not jump for me, and just because it's better to do and try than not.
Yeah. And, if I could jump in here real quick,
yeah.
I mean, veterans experience that all the time, because whether it was a short 4-year enlistment or you're getting out of the military after a retirement, there's still a transition there. And so many veterans feel they got to go into corporate America or go get the job, depending on what their family situation may be. They might be the sole breadwinner of the family, and there's that stress to provide and that steady income. But I love the attitude. I love your mentality that having a job is risky, and so many of us think that having a job is the safe way to go. But the reality is, having a job is very risky, and at least as an entrepreneur, you can have somewhat control over your destiny and control your schedule, and built in the flexibility that you need to, have those life experiences that you're looking for.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And failing is just part of that journey, and you can always get up and try again and do it again and keep on doing it until you're successful. And if you look at all the people who've done that, they've made it. And all the successful people, from Elon Musk to Jeff Bezos, they've failed over and over again, and Steve Jobs, and it's okay. It's okay, because at least you've done something, and if no one can judge you for that, at least you haven't stayed still, and that you've explored something and you've experienced something. To stay still and do the same thing over and over again, it's, not, I don't think it wouldn't make me happy. I know it's not something that makes me happy, but to just take a risk and be your own person and express yourself and have that value out in the world is really, I think, the secret to success. It's great to see, that uniqueness out there, whatever we have. It's to express that. Like, I love going past shops that are just strange and different to your high street shops, where someone has decided they want to create something out of nothing, and they create these wacky hats or something, and it's just beautiful. And so if we can each put our own selves and our soul out there, I think that it would make us personally happy, and it betters society. I think that we're all unique, and we should see each other's strengths and all that we have to offer.
Oh, I agree completely. That's so so eloquently said. And there's so many of us, and I've experienced it, most of my adult life, is you're doing something and it's fun and you're enjoying it, but it may not really be, you're not necessarily creating something or putting yourself out there. You're, especially us in the military, we're a member of a team. You're not supposed to stick out above the crowd, stay with the herd, and do what you're supposed to be doing. And the ultimate success in the military is the success of the team. So there's a lot of individual and creative sacrifice that goes along with serving in the military. And a lot of times when we transition out, there's that opportunity. Here we have this opportunity to finally do something on our own and do something for ourselves. But too often we're overrun by debt, the requirement for income, and to provide for others in the family, and we just have to kind of settle for the job. So it's great to hear that you've broken away from that and you're actually doing it. So now that you're considered a successful entrepreneur and you've walked away from your job, I mean, what does that feel like? And would you consider yourself unemployable? Like if you had to go back to a job?
Yes,
Awesome.
Yeah, I am completely unemployable, and I think But I look back on my careers, and I think I was unemployable then in a way, just because I wanted to always do more in my job. Like I wanted to do better, I wanted to do the best, and while I was, and this is what's so great, I think, about veterans, like while I was trying to work as a team and keep my head down, and I think there's a lot to learn in that, and but when you've mastered something, when you've gained all these skills, it really is time to kind of spread your wings and show what you can do. So veterans seem to have this. I would love to hire veterans because they seem to have this real strong skill base, and I think that it's a good base to be able to go, oh, I have the confidence to do anything because I did this. And that's a lot of what I thought. I was like, I've been in this country alone, and I've done X, Y, and Z, and all these amazing things all over the world. And I've done this. This is a good foundation. So now I can do anything, and kind of to fly from there is really important. But yes, I don't think that it is an amazing feeling to be able to get up every day and know that my day is gonna be full of all different things and things that I want to do and things that I love, and that I'm really giving back to the world. Like, I am making or helping make patients feel better. And, the other day we were the first commercial healthcare app on WWDC, and it was amazing to see our logo and our app presented by Apple, which, to go from 3 years,
wow.
to go from 3 years ago to just creating this little app on my own to a whole team today. And our app is recognized by the biggest technology company in the world, and up on stage was just, I think, a miracle. It was amazing. So I think people can do anything. You just have to be bullish enough to do it and believe in yourself and have the confidence to do it and think creatively. Like, there is nobody you cannot get in touch with. There is nothing that you cannot do if you put your mind to it, and your skills and your resources and your persistence.
That's awesome, Naveen. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of our time here. You've been very inspirational, and your entrepreneurial success story is fascinating. I mean, you invented some technology in an app, and it's not only something that has allowed you to step away from your job and provide for you and your family, but it actually does a lot of good for people and helps people. So you've covered all the right things, and it's very inspirational. So as we get closer to the end of our time here, I would like to give you the last word. If we want to find out more about PT Pal, or if there's any veterans that may want to come work for you, I mean, you did make that offer, right?
Yeah.
But so how would we get in touch with you and find out more about PT Pal?
Yeah, my email, actually, I'll give you my direct email. It's Naveen, Naveen, at ptpal.com. And our office email is info@ptpal.com. And our website is ptpal.com. And if you Google PT Pal, we'll come up, and PT Pal app, and there's lots of articles on us. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you, especially if you've been in healthcare and around healthcare, and even if you're a patient, it would be fantastic to hear from you. So yeah.
All right, Naveen. Well, thanks, and once again, very inspirational, motivating, and it's great to see your success in the entrepreneurial realm. Maybe we can circle back around in 6 months or a year and see how you and PT Pal's doing. Have you back on the show?
That sounds great, Joe. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks, Naveen. We're out. Be sure to check out Thrive15.com, the world's premier online education platform that helps entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs learn how to start or grow a successful business. Start your free 30-day membership by going to Thrive15.com and use the promo code VETERAN. Thank you for listening to Veteran on the Move, your pathfinder to freedom. If you like the show, leave us a review on iTunes. Reviews are always greatly appreciated. So until next time, this veteran